Okay, so we're going to start our study of the immune system by talking about what infectious disease is and what causes it. So first of all, some reminders. Write down all highlighted vocabulary. Pause, rewind when you need to. So our study of microorganisms started with Louis Pasteur. And he basically discovered what were called microorganisms, which are living things that are too small to see without a microscope. And he discovered that they are the main cause of most infectious disease. Then we moved on to Joseph Lister. He was a surgeon, and he hypothesized that the infections that came after surgery, as he was losing a lot of his patients at the time, this was the early 1800s, so medicine was not anywhere near where it was nowadays, that it was microorganisms were the cause of these infections. And he basically came up with a sterilization process. He cleaned his hands and instruments with carbonic acid before he began surgery. So he sterilized them. He got rid of all the germs. Carbonic acid killed all the microorganisms, and his infections in his patients after surgery went down about 30%. Then we have Robert Koch. He was the actual person to discover what's called a pathogen. And a pathogen is an organism that causes a disease. And any disease caused by a pathogen is called an infectious disease. And he found that a specific microorganism would be the cause of a specific disease. So, for example, the bacteria that causes strep throat, which is Streptococcus, can't also cause the chickenpox. Or that the bacteria that causes food poisoning can't cause strep throat. So on and so forth. So, what are the types of these pathogens? Well, there's four main types. There's bacteria, there's viruses, there's fungi, and there's protists. And first we have bacteria. Bacteria are always one-celled organisms, and they are the main cause of ear infections, food poisoning, and definitely strep throat. Some actually produce a poison or toxin that damage cells indirectly, and some, like the one that causes strep throat, damage the cells directly. And if you want to know, this is Streptococcus right here. This is what actually causes your strep throat. Then we have viruses. Viruses are non-living particles that are much smaller than bacteria, and they can reproduce only inside living cells. So what happens is, the virus will get into the cell, it will actually kill the cell, and when the cell dies, it will release more of the virus into more cells, and so on and so forth. And basically you have the virus taking over all the cells until antibodies or until your immune system gets rid of it. Colds and the flu, common viral diseases. Then we have the last two. So fungi are examples are like mold and yeast. They can be both one-celled and multicellular, and examples are ringworm and athlete's foot. Protists are mostly one-celled organisms, and the only real example you need here that you're going to know is malaria. And as we know, malaria gets caused by mosquitoes in tropical climates. And that's pretty much all I have. There's going to be no screencast quiz tomorrow, as we're going to be doing a lab for most of the class, and I don't want to waste anyone's time or waste time with that. There may be a quick little review of the notes at the beginning, but as long as you have these, you should be all set. And that's all I have for you.